Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This is Kodeations. In today's video, we're going to be jumping back into some Cookie Run Kingdom and specifically taking a look at the Guild Boss battle. I'm going to be bringing you guys 3 different compositions and talking about the best treasures to use to maximize your score. So without further ado, let's dive right in. Diving right in, ladies and gentlemen, so we are loaded up here onto the LD player, and we're going to be taking a look at 3 different team compositions, as you can see here on screen. Now, all 3 of these compositions aren't going to be an end-all, be-all. We're going to be utilizing what I personally think are the best to use, but if you do not have some of these damage dealers, just know that you can utilize whatever your best damage dealers are that you currently have at the time of you watching this video, all right? So, first up, we've got here, and this is going to be the Holy Grail team composition for the Guild Boss battle. All right, so obviously we're going to have Dark Choco here in the front line to apply that defense break, so then that basically allows the boss to take more damage from your overall attacks. Not only that, we are going to be running that Sorbet Shark, because Sorbet Shark is going to be better than somebody like Rye Cookie because he actually gets a double attack. So definitely going to be needing the Sorbet if you have them. Next up, we've got, and that's going to be Poison Mushroom. Again, very, very good cookie here, does a lot of damage over time, which makes him very, very useful. Next up, we've got, and that's going to be Licorice. Licorice is purely here to apply the defense buff, but the most importantly is going to be providing those minions. Those minions are going to allow your entire team not to get stunned, and it's going to allow the boss to then just stun those minions. So absolutely a needed staple cookie when it comes to the overall Guild Boss battle. And then last but not least, we are going to be running Vampire, because Vampire is single-handedly the best single target damage dealer in the game, hands down. And because you are going up against, the Guild Boss, which is inevitably a single target, Vampire is a very, very good choice, and in my opinion, probably the #1 choice when it comes to a single target damage dealer for this. Next up, we've got here for the treasures, and that's going to be obviously the same 3 throughout all of the 3 compositions, and that's going to be because these 3 treasures are the absolute best for not only, like I said, this team comp, but all 3 of them. We've got the Old Pilgrim Scroll here for that additional attack percent. We've got the Slingshot to further reduce the defense of the boss, and then last but not least, we do have that Jelly Watch to give us that additional cooldown reduction. So all 3 of these absolutely needed for each one of the compositions. Now, diving into the second team composition we've got for you guys, and that's going to be pretty much swapping out Poison Mushroom for Rye Cookie. Now, this one is going to be a less as effective composition because Poison Mushroom does a megaton of damage with the, poison over time, but if you don't have yourself a Poison Mushroom, or maybe you just haven't leveled up Poison Mushroom, then Rye is going to be a very good option here. However, just know Rye does not live to do a second attack majority of the time, and because of that, she's going to be really, really good for just that first round of attacks, but nevertheless, she can put up a lot of points for you in that first attack. Same thing goes for all the other cookies. They're going to stay the same from the very first composition, but if you do not have a Vampire or a Sorbet, then you can obviously use whatever you have. You can use Rye also with a Shroom. You can use Rye with a Vampire. You can use Rye with a BR. It does not matter. You can easily swap this out with any other team composition with your damage dealers. Just know that you're going to be throwing on basically 3 DPS units, Licorice, and DC for this team composition, but the treasures also obviously still stay the same at those same 3. Moving on to the third composition we've got, and this one's going to be a little bit of a lower level composition. If you do not have 3 really good DPS units to place here in the back line to give you that Vampire, Sorbet, BR, Rye, Shroom, comp, then obviously for one of your damage dealers, we would pop in a Pomegranate. Pomegranate's going to be really good because she does provide that additional attack buff that you might need if you are missing that 3rd DPS unit to still put up some points for your Guild Boss battle. But outside of that, use whatever your top DPS units are here. Like I said, ours is just going to be Vampire and then, Sorbet. Ideally, you want to stick to single target damage dealers, not AoE damage dealers, just to make sure that you are getting the most damage as you possibly can. But with that being said, obviously use whatever DPS units you have, and you're going to swap in Pomegranate for one of the 3rd, and then we've got Licorice and then DC here, and then as always, we're going to keep those same exact treasures, all right? Alrighty, so now officially jumping over here to some gameplay, we're going to be taking a look at the very first composition in practice mode, all right? So let's go ahead and load in here. Again, this is going to be featuring Licorice, Vampire, Sorbet, Shroomy, and then also Dark Chocolate, all right? So we're going to go ahead and roll in here. First thing we need to do is turn off the auto mode. You guys do not want to be running this in auto mode. In my personal opinion, I absolutely think that manual mode is going to be the best way to go to really maximize your damage. All right, so the first thing we need to note here when it comes to running all three of these compositions, that's going to be utilizing Licorice's ability right off the bat. You can see we've got 2 more seconds before we can use it. Once it's available, we need to pop his skill off immediately, not only to get the minions up there to catch up to Dark Choco so they can start off the battle in the front, but also to get that cooldown already started for Licorice. Then next up, what we're going to do is go ahead and wait till we get to the top line here to then pop off Dark Chocolate's ability. So we'll be explaining that in 1 second. Let's go ahead and click on the pause button. There we go. All right, so now Dark Chocolate is going to go first, right? So Dark Choco here on the very front line. Once we get to this line right here on this sidewalk, you see this little second here. Once you get on this little sidewalk pad, that's going to be where you're going to hit Dark Chocolate, and then right after Dark Chocolate, you're going to go ahead and hit Shroomy, and then once you hit Shroomy, then you're going to go ahead and check or peep out over here on your slingshot to see if it's going to be down at 6 o'clock. If it's at 6 o'clock or past 6 o'clock, you need to go ahead and smash up Vampire, Sorbet right away, hit that slingshot treasure, come back down here, hit Licorice one more time, and then we're going to click on the auto button to just let it play out. All right, so let's go ahead and peep that right there. Dark Chocolate, Poison Mushroom, Vampire, Sorbet. Go ahead and click on the thing. Come back, click the auto button, and that's going to be pretty much what you need to know about this team composition and how it operates. Again, you might want to slow down the video or rewind it if you're not exactly sure. But DC first, as soon as you get up to that line, you're going to immediately follow it up behind Shroomy, then Vampire, then Sorbet. Hit that slingshot treasure when it's ready. Click on Licorice one more time to really maximize damage. And for that run, we got a solid 3.6 mil. Alrighty, so now jumping into the second composition we've got for you guys today, and that's going to bring us to swapping out Shroomy for Rye. All right, so again, the same treasures apply here for this composition. So let's go ahead and jump in here to the practice mode, and let's show you guys a run in rotation on exactly how this works. All right, so the very first thing you need to know, and that's going to be we need to turn off the auto button if it is turned on, which it's not in this case. And then we're going to go ahead and spam Lyco's ability as soon as Licorice is available, because again, we want to get those minions to the front as soon as possible. Next thing up we're going to do is obviously just like the first composition, we're going to go ahead and hit Dark Choco's ability right after he gets to this pillar. So anywhere within this little sidewalk region area is when you're going to hit Dark Choco's ability. Immediately once we do that, we're going to be watching our treasure. Once our treasure's cooldown timer gets to about 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock, we're going to go ahead and spam out our DPS units, which in this case is going to be Vampire, Rye, then Sorbet. Then we're going to click on the slingshot because it's going to be ready and available. Then we're going to come back down here immediately, try to get one more attack on Licorice. Then we're going to smack on that auto button, so then just let it play out additional damage, all right? So we're going to go ahead and click on Continue, DC's ability, watch the treasure, all 3 of our damage units. Go ahead and click on our slingshot, come back here, click on Lyco's ability, leave the auto button, run. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to be pretty much what you need to know about this composition. Keep in mind that your Rye cookie is going to die after the first round of attacks. Rye with this comp just does not last for a second round. So that's going to be what you need to know on how to do that. And what damage we pop off? Ooh! Somebody must have critted because we did more damage than my main team composition. So very interesting. But like I said, we must have crit here on this team comp and running, but that just shows you that Rye Cookie can still do it without running a shroom. Alrighty, and then diving into the third composition we've got for you guys today, and that's going to be bringing us to, if you do not have 3 top DPS units that you are currently building right now, then you can obviously put in a pomegranate here to help out for your overall damage provided by your other 2 DPS units. And then once again, keep in mind that your Vampire and your Sorbet can both be swapped out for whatever damage dealers that you currently have or are building. All right, so for me personally, these are going to be my top 2 DPS units. That's why we're currently using them in today's video on all 3 of our compositions. All right, so next up, let's go ahead and jump in here to the practice mode and show you exactly how this rotation works. The only thing different here is going to be you're utilizing Pomegranate right after you pop DC's ability. That's pretty much the only thing different. Go ahead and untick auto here. We're going to be utilizing Licorice's ability as soon as it's available again, because we want to get those minions up to the front line. We're going to be utilizing Dark Choco's ability. again right here once we get right at that pillar. All right, so we're going to use Dark Choco's ability once we get there. Immediately following Dark Choco's ability, we're going to go ahead and click on Pomegranate. Again, keeping an eye out on our slingshot. Once it gets to about that 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock time, then we're going to go ahead and pop off Vampire and then Sorbet, then Slingshot, Licorice one more time if we can squeeze it in there. Click on the auto button and let it autoplay, all right? So let's go ahead and do that right now. Continue. DC coming up first, immediately followed by Pomegranate, Vampire, Sorbet, Slingshot, Licorice. Go ahead and click the auto button on, let it play. Again, like I said, this one's not going to be the best composition to run and not going to give us the most damage output, but nevertheless, it is a very good option and a safe option for some of those lower level accounts, like I said, that might not have all 3 DPS units built. But nevertheless, let's see what we can get here out of damage just by utilizing those 2. Not bad. Not bad. Almost that 3.4 that we got on our very first run with our main composition. So again, that's going to be pretty much what you need to know about this team comp. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to be what you need to know pretty much about the Guild Boss battle, all right? So again, keep in mind when it comes to overall cookies, just utilizing Licorice and Dark Choco are going to be an absolute must no matter what team comp you are currently running, and then just fill it in with your 3 damage dealers of your choice. I mean, in my opinion, I would recommend, obviously, single target damage dealers, your Vampires, your Sorbets, your Black Raisins. I know Black Raisins and Sorbets are a little bit AoE, but still, very good options here. Your Rye Cookie is another very good option. Your Shroomy is a very good option because it's single target, or it's AoE, but all that poison is being applied to the Guild Boss, and it works phenomenally here in this case. So definitely utilize those cookies, to your advantage. If you don't have them, then obviously use what you do have. And then Pomegranate, obviously is still a viable comp. She provides a good attack buff, so if you're only utilizing 2 DPS units, don't feel bad about using a Pomegranate on your overall team. And then as for treasures go, just using those 3 main treasures, the scroll to give you the attack percentage, the slingshot to apply the defense break on the boss, and then last but not least, to get that jelly watch to get that cooldown reduction is going to help you out tremendously. But you guys let me know down below in the comments what your guys' thoughts are overall on these 3 compositions. Do you have something else to suggest? And then if you do, like I said, I would love to hear it down below in the comments. But as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the Discord link provided down below in the description, and I will see you guys on the next one.